Hey, what's up? Cheers. It's been a long time, guys, a really long time, and I am going to preface it with mental health is important, y'all, because that's what it boils down to. So before we dive into the chaos that you cannot see, I just want to take a brief moment to thank you guys for hanging in there while I kept my sanity. Quick update. I'm done with grad school. I have graduated. I have my master's. Woo! But it's been, I think, since October since I've podcasted, and that's because my depression and anxiety came back with a vengeance. It was insane, and made for a real difficult couple months, and I had to let things go because I couldn't do everything at once. But I'm back. I'm feeling great. I have taken the necessary steps for me to get my all the chemicals in my brain balanced. So hey, let's get back to it. So thanks for hanging in and waiting patiently for me. I'm hoping maybe you can tell that this is a lot brighter and clearer and maybe a little more clear to color. Oh boy, guys, it's gonna be a long one. A little more true to color, and that is because I bought two fancy studio lights. So already in my little viewfinder I can tell that things are way better because I've got natural light directly this way and then back on the wall behind me. So this is, I think, the best it's been since I've been in this house. So hey, win. Anyway, I've just rambled now for the first however many minutes, and I haven't even introduced myself. Hey guys, I'm Lacey. If you're new here, and because I have gotten some new subscribers since I've been on my sabbatical, hiatus, whatever you want to call it, you found the Knitted Cupcake podcast, and I am so excited to be back. So new viewers, welcome. Returning viewers, thank you for your patience, and welcome back. I appreciate you. You can find me on Instagram as the.knitted.cupcake. You can find me on Ravelry as WOU Knitter. There is a podcast group that I haven't checked, I think, since even before October. So who knows if or when that will be actually revived, but it's there. So if you want to join, go join. But yeah, so that's where you can find me. Clearly you found me here. So let's just dive in. Oh, I left something. Oh, please. I left a finished object. I debated, because I was gone for so long, whether or not to show off my finished objects, and I don't think I even have all of them, but I have the big ones and that kind of a thing. So first I'll show you my shirt. What am I wearing? Because look at it. It's an alpaca and he's knitting, and I got this off of Zulily and I love it. I've gotten a few knitting related shirts from them and I love them all. So that's what I'm wearing. So anyway, let's just dive into some finished objects. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because I already know that this podcast is going to be long, because I have every single one of my whips piled right here. And I want to go through them because I think that's going to help me push forward and get some of these things off of my needles. I am on a finishing kick, and I'm trying really hard to maintain that focus, especially over the summer when I have all of the knitting time really I could ask for. So we'll do a quick round of FOs, and then we are going to do the whip walk of shame because there are tons of them. I have 0 show notes. I'm going to grab a bag, open it up, and we're going to talk about it. if I can remember what things are. So with that, cheers, drinking some rosé tonight, and let's hit some whips. We will start with this guy, the freshest off my needles. I think of the whips I'm going to show you, only one of them was on the needles when I took my break a couple months ago. This is my Ramble Shawl by Andrea Mowry, and I am trying not to dip my ends into my glass of rosé here. Clearly, I mean, I've got ends and all of that stuff still hanging out here, but this I knit out of So Happy Jane in her silky yak base. I don't think that that is a regular base in her shop. I got it when she was at a trunk show this last fall, I think, at my local yarn shop. And I knit this out of Honeymead is a gold color, and then what looks gray but is kind of a purpley gray is Aubergine. And oh boy, do I love this. The garter stripe bits were a slog and took me months to complete, and then I think I finished the brioche in like 2 or 3 evenings. So there we go. It's insanely squishy. I'm excited to get it blocked just to kind of open this herringbone chevron. I mean, look at how pretty that is. I'll stand up a little bit. I mean, it's gorgeous just on its own, but I'm excited to get it blocked out. So yeah, I mean, I will not be wearing it anytime soon because it is hot here in Eastern Oregon right now. I guess I shouldn't say it's been hot like we're dying, because it really hasn't been that insane. It like maybe got up to 80 today, so not too bad, but 80 degrees is too much for this. So that's FO number 1. That is my Ramble Shawl by Andrea Mowry, knit out of So Happy Jane in her silky yak base, and I love it. And we're just gonna keep going here, shall we? Next up, I love this. This is the one active whip that you saw when I was still previously podcasting. I don't know, before my break. This is by Tanya. Again, no, not again. This is a Caitlin Hunter pattern, Boylan Knitworks. I knit this out of, oh goodness, Thriving Hive Studio in her silky singles base, and the colorway is her Tits Out collective, and it is beautiful. So again, silky single, so it's a base that has silk in it, and I love this thing. It is so cozy. It's good for I'm inside an air-conditioned building all day working type of a thing. It's the perfect kind of garment for that. The sleeves are really nice, are a really nice length, a great fit. I think the only modification I made was adding a couple extra inches to the body because I didn't want it too cropped. It hits a really perfect length on me. If you want to see finished object pictures of this, as well as the rest of my finished objects that I'm going to show you, you can head over to my Instagram, again, the.knitted.cupcake. Scroll back and you'll see all of them there, because I have a fantastic friend who likes to take, or maybe she doesn't like it, but she's at least willing to take fabulous finished objects photos for me. Yeah, okay, so I've brought my garments. I will bring some of my shawls next time, because another big one was my What the Fade, and I don't have that, but that's okay. That's all the way over there, and I'm not gonna go get it. So next up is another Andrea Mowry pattern, and this is my Weekender. Lots of positive ease, I love it. I marled Holstgarn, nougat, and charcoal, I think, together to create this. I need to figure out something else to do with my wine because I'm going to keep dunking my knitted items. So again, there is the yarn. Holstgarn, if you don't know, is a yarn based out of Denmark, I believe. And they come in either little 50-gram cakes or giant like 500-gram cones. And it's a fine fingering weight. So there, I think it was over or around 300 yards per 50-gram cake. It is also a woolen spun yarn, so it is a lighter yarn in general because it is so much air in the yarn itself. But I would call it a light fingering weight. It is pretty rustic. It's got some prickle to it, but it blooms beautifully when it's blocked, and I think if I wash it a few more times, it'll soften even a little bit more. So really, I really do recommend this yarn. It's a great budget yarn if you're looking for something for color work or something like this. I mean, I'm not a small person. I know that in the realm of plus size, I'm on the smaller end of plus size. But that still means that sweater quantities of yarn are still quite expensive for me depending on where I'm buying them from. And this brand allowed me to purchase this sweater quantity for myself, which was holding yarn double, as well as a sweater quantity of yarn kind of the same manner, intended to be held double for my fiance, who's also a broad guy. He's not petite. We are both just bigger people, and I think I was able to get both of those sweater quantities of yarn for like $80. So I mean, really, you can't, it's a great value for what you get. I haven't tried using it for color work yet, but I do know that Ellie of Skandir has used it in color work, so has Amy Florence of the Stranded podcast. She's also used it for color work and highly recommends it. So holding it double for a more worsted DK weight, or hold it single for some color work, or even hold it double for color work. It's a great value yarn, and it was nice to work with. And you're gonna get a really nice woolly sweater by the end of it. So there is my weekender. You're gonna see a lot of Andrea Mowry patterns, and that is, gosh, I left 2 whips out in my car. Good night. I might have to pause and go get them because they are related to this. I did kind of tag along with Stacey L. Stone of the Stress Knits podcast to participate in her kind of low-key a year of Andrea Cowl. So my Ramble Shawl, my Weekender, my next whip, or my next FO, a bunch of the whips you're gonna see are all towards that. So my next finished object is another Andrea Mowry pattern, and this one really surprised me with how much I love it, because it's not what I would consider my style, because it is a cropped sweater. And somebody I think it was Bad Betty Knits, her podcast. She's another fabulous fat lady podcaster, using her words. And she deemed something the year of the fat lady cropped sweater, and I am trying to be here for it. I am working through a lot of body positivity and body image things within myself, trying to love the body that I'm in rather than continually desire a body I don't have. So it was a lot for me to knit up a cropped sweater for the body that I have, and that's what this is. This is my nurtured sweater, and I love it. You can see the little stitch texture Oh, this thing is heavy and dense and perfect for the really frigid cold days here in Eastern Oregon because it is insanely warm. I knit this out of Malabrigo Rios. I cannot, Sandbank maybe was the colorway name, but it's this great kind of taupey sand color. So maybe it is Sandbank. I don't know. I can't remember, but it is full length sleeves. Ta-da! And it does, I mean, I could probably throw it on. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be toasty. So you can see, whew, it is a warm sweater, but I mean, so you can see kind of where it hits on my bust. Again, you can head to my, that's actually kind of cute with the t-shirt, I think. Kind of a little bit of flow, little room. That could work in the winter. Jeans, slightly flowier t-shirt. Oh my gosh, I have to take it off, it's so hot. Again, you can head to Instagram and see full kind of body shots. In the snow is when I took that picture. So with that, oh, we'll keep going with some finished objects. I'm sorry, no, I'm not gonna apologize on my podcast. I am blowing through finished objects just because I have a lot of them and I have a ton of whips to go through. So we're just moving right along. I'm going to wrap up with my start of my box of socks and then pause, grab a few whips out of my car, and then we're gonna get back to this. So if you can tell, I have a bit of a theme with my box of socks this year. Can you tell? Can you tell? They're all stripes. I love it. There are a few reasons why I'm obsessed with stripy socks this year, and that primarily is because I am participating in the Desert Vista Dye Works 5th annual year-long knit-along, sock knit-along. And so I have, so far, 6 completed pairs of Desert Vista Dye Works. In total, I have 8 pairs of socks finished for the year. And I decided that I really wanted to just stick with all self-striping socks this year, and I am thrilled with that choice. So I can take them out, it's fine. So I have not woven in a single end, so that's fun. And they are done. There are heels tucked in here. So this is Desert Vista Dye Works in her This Is It colorway. That is inspired by Michael Jackson. That was my January pair. February is this pair, and this is Zombody Loves the Knit Girls, and that's inspired by the Knit Girls, Laura and Leslie. March was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, so it's her zombie Wizard of Oz, one of her zombie Wizard of Oz colorways. And the Wizard of Oz is my all-time favorite movie. And I used Tabitha Gandy from Hey Sister podcast. Her Wonderland socks, I think is what that pattern is called. So I used that. So they're not all just vanilla socks. I kind of keep going back and forth on them a little bit, depending on my mood. This is another vanilla pair, and this pair I'm gonna show you the full guy just because the contrasting yarn is the best. So this was April. Look how bright on this are. Can you guess? Can you guess what colorway this is? It's Lisa Frank. And I love it. And I also, starting, did I do it with, no, it was starting this month. So in April, I started using the Procrastinatrix Toe Up pattern. So this heel is an afterthought heel flap and gusset, which is fascinating to do, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed the fit of that pattern. So that is April's Lisa Frank. Love them, love them. It's like I'm all new at this again. I did not check my memory card and delete past stuff on there, so it cut me off, but you saw April's socks. So let's move on to May, shall we? So my May socks still have stitch markers on there. Can you see that? I mean, I'm telling you guys, these things have been like bound off, thrown on sock blockers for pictures, and then put in the box. So, oi, okay. Same thing. I use the Procrastinatrix heel, toe up heel, and then this yarn is Here Comes the Zombride in the Soul Sister pattern, and that is a pattern that is by Jewels of So Sweet Violet and Amy of Little Tailoress, maybe? Dandelion and Dogwood, I think is her name now. I do know that So Sweet Violet is part of it. So, anyway, that is May. June, oofta, let's try to get those all back in there. Oh, I'm not going to remember the pattern name on these. Not at all. Some sort of cable. And these ones I do think that I need a sock blocker for, because they just look like funny little... So it is an entirely, it's like a ribbed cable, and really it's more of a mock cable stitch pattern. Do-do-do. Ta-da! So again, Desert Vista Dye Works. This is the Purple Rain color, inspired by Prince. Same heel as the last ones. Oh, and the pattern is the Calais cable sock. I'll maybe put it down here. We'll see. You can go to my Instagram and find it though. Yeah. So, sorry if that was loud. Those are my June socks. I do have my July socks cast on, so you'll see that in whips. And then I do have 2 additional pairs of self-striping socks too that I finished that are not Desert Vista Dye Works. These are Cozy Knitter in her Celebrate the Night color, and this actually was the first pair that I put in that Afterthought heel flap and gusset. Plain vanilla sock. And then I have from Valkyrie Fibers, I have her Lord of the Rings inspired colorway called Bag End. And this is a, no, not a Felici, a Knit Picks Stroll, I think in the dandelion color, but the yellow was just perfect. So that also, can you tell that that's my new one? And this is an Eye of Partridge heel instead of a slip stitch heel, but the same Afterthought heel flap and gusset in this pair. So that makes the count total as 8 pairs of finished socks for the year. So that is kind of the FO roundup for y'all. There's so much over here. I mean, just in front of me, I've got like TV trays, 2 of them. And on the TV trays alone are what I would consider my active whips. These are the whips that I am actively working on. And there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active whips. And then I have one of those 3-tier rolling carts from IKEA right here. And you can just see the top over here, but every level is full. So I may keep a running kind of tally through editing to have a final, like, here's how many whips you have, Lacey, and it's ridiculous, so let's kind of reduce them a little bit, shall we? Okay, let's get into it. Since we were just talking about my socks, we'll start with my active whips because I do know what's in every bag. So in this bag, it's my female superhero, which it's kind of upside down, kind of not, box bag. This is from String Thing Studio, a single strand studio, my bad. And here is my July Desert Vista socks. And I'm doing these a little differently than I have lately. And that is primarily inspired by Chelsea, who is half of the Legacy Fiber Arts, and then also Chelsea Makes is her Patreon. And if you don't support her, do, because her projects are always insanely inspiring, and the content that she's been putting just in like the blogs on her Patreon page have been really insightful and helpful and have really encouraged me to look at my making in a more, maybe not analytical way, but a more thoughtful way, and in a way that's kind of what can I learn from this experience, and how can I continue to develop my skills and my knowledge base as a maker. So consider supporting her on Patreon if you don't, because she is really, I recommend it. Anyway, these are my July. And are you surprised that they're red, white, and blue? No. So this is Fireworks on the 4th of July from Desert Vista Dye Works. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. I think you can. But it is her sparkle base. And I have a little s'mores progress keeper from Sweet Cherry Shop. I love it. And this one I'm doing on 9-inch circulars. And I have little stitch markers in here to, show where I'm going to do an afterthought heel. It's been a couple of months since I've done an afterthought heel, and Chelsea is hosting a 9-inch circular afterthought heel cowl through her Patreon group. So this was a good little excuse to do that. I'm also going to be doing a bit of traveling this month, and that will make for really good travel knitting if I don't finish before that, which if I do, I'm okay with that, because then I have a box up here full of Christmas yarn that I want to tackle at least 1, if not 2 pairs of Christmas socks this month. I've got big plans. Okay, I'm just going to start with what's in front of me. Living in a Prickly Owl bag. I love her bags. I have 3 of them, and all 3 of them are active whips right now. So they're in the heavy rotation. In this one, in my cactus bag, is my another cropped garment, and this is my Magpie Tendency. And this, oh, I should remember her name. Skenanigans, I do know that, but Melissa of Skenanigans. This is her pattern, and I am knitting this out of a Legacy Fiber Arts sock set in like a one-of-a-kind Unicorn Hugs colorway. And this is their Cozy Toes beige, so it's got cashmere in it. I still have a decent nugget. Oh, that almost landed in my line. Woo! And that like would have fit. I'm like, I mean, it like almost did that thing, and it, yes, that would have. I feel like Chevis on a martini podcast. Lacey on a rosé podcast. Anyway, it's been a really fun construction. And if you don't know about the magpie tendency pattern, for most of the sizes, you can get away with like a sock set. So that is what, 120 grams of yarn to create a top. This thing is being knit on size 10.5 needles. So it is a very loose, open, kind of gauzy gauge, which for the summer or the warmer months anyway, is going to be really fun. I am wanting to get this done before I leave on my trip this month. I'm also going away in August too, so that could be another fun time to wear it. And it's just a great way to wear, I'm gonna move that back over here, it was much safer, to wear your knitting in the warm months. So there is kind of this little garter bump, and so it seems really short right now. And I keep reminding myself that it will grow a lot, and that this will be enough to give me a cute little crop length top, which will be cute over a little dress, or again, maybe over one of my kind of looser, flowier t-shirts and a pair of shorts. I'm not about showing off my tummy. That's just a me thing. I see a lot of bigger plus size fat ladies who rock that look. That look is not for me personally, but I think that I found a lot of ways that I can wear something cropped and still feel really good about it. So I'm excited about that. And the fact that it's a one skein project, super amazing. So I'm hoping that I love it as much as I think I will, because I have a stupid amount of sock sets back in this out of control cabinet that yeah, we might talk some dream knitting later too, depending on where this goes. Anyway, there's another whip. Continuing on in another prickly owl bag, and this is kind of a fun tribal, not tribal, but it's just a fun kind of geometric hand stamped print. She always has some sort of fun tassel on her bags. I adore her. If you haven't checked out her shop, I highly recommend. In this bag, which I may need to upgrade to a larger bag because it is crammed in here, this is part of my Make 9, and this is my, it's gonna be really hard to tell, but it is my eyeball shawl. And this is my Game of Thrones Night Walker, White Walker, good lord, White Walker inspired eyeball shawl. So I'm working on one half of the sclera right now. I did knit all of this in the final season of Game of Thrones. So there's that. All of my progress keepers and stitch markers are very to theme, I feel like. Oh, good, nice. So this is from Scrappy Thread, a little snowflake button. This was my very first ever stitch marker, and I love it because it looks like the eyeball that I'm knitting. So the yarns, let's see if I can remember this. I don't think I have any tags, but both the black and the blue are from Frankie Fiber, something like that. The black is Night Watch. I I think so. The blue is White Walkers, and then this is, I can actually show you this because I do have my second skein right here. So this is from Seismic Yarn and Dye Works. They're based out of the San Francisco area, I believe is what that says. And this is her White Walker colorway. And all of the colors are a stellina base. This one is really an unusual blend, which I've never seen before. It's an 84 merino, superwash merino, 16% stellina. So it is very sparkly, and so that's going to be the white, or the sclera of the eye. And yeah, here's my black one is in one of my little bins over there, but here is the blue from Frankenfiber, something like that. I think she's on a dyeing hiatus right now, but I loved that I was able to create this out of all Game of Thrones yarns and even have a pattern. Ooh, come on. That's gone out of control. Have a pattern that I feel like really can represent the show as a whole. So that is another whip. And again, that is part of my Make 9. So I'm really, I wanted to actually make an effort this year. Last year I didn't really make a strong effort towards that. It was fun to create, and then I think I only finished one pattern that was there. So I've got my whole Year of Andrea thing, which has kind of sidetracked me from that a little bit, but I want to get back to it once I kind of minimize some of my whips. Some of them might be frogged. We'll decide that later. Moving on. These are all Year of Andrea. So that was a good little segue. Year of Andrea. And we'll just continue with my final prickly owl bag. So again, a cute little hand stamped, this time it's an owl, and she's got this really fun, like, that's been mangled in my car. This has been living in my car for a while. Really cool. It's supposed to be a feather, but, oh, that's how we break things, Lacey. Oh no, I'm breaking it. It's supposed to be a feather. It doesn't really look like a feather anymore, but it's just this cool little thing now. Living in here is not a whole lot of anything right now, but this is my Free Your Fade by Andrea Mallory. Hello, Dad. Oh, he's so bright. I may need to do some editing on things later. So I'm still in my first color of my Free Your Fade. And I think it's taking me so long because this first color is just, it's pretty solid. Like, it looks a little more tonal on my screen than it does in real life. Like, it just seems really solid. But I am knitting this out of kind of a fade set. It wasn't a set, but they all went together from the Fiber Seat. And they're a Sprout DK. And so this first one is Gulfstream, is then going to fade into Unicorn Tears, which is like a half and half skein. So it was half this color and then half the speckles. So really, like, this is Unicorn Tears / Gulfstream, because the speckle, which will be my final color, is called Unicorn Tear. So it'll go from a solid to just a super heavy, it's getting blown out. That really is more of a, no, maybe it's accurate and I'm just crazy. I don't know. But that's what my Free Your Fade is going to be. Yeah. There's just not a whole lot here yet. Just a little baby shawl. But my goal in tackling my whips and it's something that's already kind of being implemented because all of my active whips are this. But before I tackle any of my cart, I want to take care of almost all of my Andrea Mowry Year of Andrea whips. So I want this to get off the needles, as well as 2 of these next 3. One of them I'm really enjoying the process of it, so I'm not so like, gotta get it done, gotta get it off the needles. It's been a really good kind of knit night, hang out at the yarn shop kind of knit, so I'm okay with that. Hanging around for a while. So let's just talk about that one, shall we? This one is my Find Your Fade. I never thought that I would do a Find Your Fade because it is so massive and requires 7 skeins of yarn. Well, you'd think that I could have pulled from my stash, but no. I am constantly inspired by the yarn at my yarn shop, my local yarn shop, which really I couldn't ask for a more perfect yarn shop, because maybe my style of yarn taste is morphed into what they carry, or I've always loved that and that's what they carry. I don't really know, but I love everything they carry. So, and it's Purl2 Walla Walla, so you can follow them on Instagram at Purl2W2. And they carry the range of the woolen spun Brooklyn tweed. They carry Spin Cycle, some Swans Island. There's a local dyer from she has her own alpaca farm. Carry her stuff, which is beautiful. They carry Woolfolk. So if you're looking for any of those Woolfolk yarns, they've got them. Homespun House is a new dyer they started carrying, as well as they have Hedgehog. And then this particular dyer is somewhat local to us. She's in the Boise area, so she's a Pacific Northwest dyer. So Happy Jane, I've talked about her once from my Ramble Shawl. I've knit some of her yarn in my Vertices Unite. My time trade shawl was all her yarn. I'm having a bit of a love affair with So Happy Jane. I love her yarn. And I decided, from staring at the wall of So Happy Jane, that I needed to create a Find Your Fade out of So Happy Jane. And this is what I have so far. It's so good. So good. So again, all of these are So Happy Jane colors. They're all on her Bouncy Fingering sock base. And so far in here, I have Honeymead, which is one of my all-time favorite colors of hers. It's what's in my Vertices Unite, it's in my Ramble Shawl, it's in this. I have more that's in another whip that I'm going to frog because I'm just not feeling that project and I want to use that yarn for something else. Don't know what yet, but Honeymead is one of my all-time favorite colors of hers. It's amazing. The next color is, she called Four of a Kind because it was just a random kind of one of a kind, but there were 4 skeins of it. Into that. And then into Anne Shirley Auburn. And then we are now into Terra Firma, which is showing up a lot more purple on screen. But there's Terra Firma. And then the next one, I have all of the skeins, but only the next one in here, which is not, it's way more purple in real life, but whatevs. That's okay. So it's going to go from Terra Firma into Demelza. And then I've got blues coming next. So it's going to then go from here into a really cool indigo and then into a really deep tealy color. So I'm kind of calling this I don't know, it really reminds me of like a sunset just with the way the colors shift from one to the next and into the golden colors and then through the reds and the oranges and the purples and then to that really deep, deep blue. So that's my Find Your Fade. Again, Andrea Mowry. Oh, and I have this adorable little snow cone, Progress Keeper, and that is from Little Bitty Delights. And this is living in a new project bag, which I had to order. And so if you are not into foul language and you're not into the F word, I won't say it, but it's gonna be on the screen. So you're gonna read it. And I love this bag. And I love the lady who made it. So, I mean, it looks like just harmless little flowers. But this is a better side to show. I mean, just, ta-da! It's a naughty bag and I love it. So, this is a fat squirrel bag, and I think she calls this her large wedge or something, and it's a great size for this project. Like, clearly still lots of room, good to go. And that shawl, I'm no longer increasing stitches. I'm to the point now where I'm like just maintaining, and that center spine is just kind of shifting over. So that's where I'm at now on that. So there's that. Let's do this one. In one of my cupcake bags, my large cupcake bag, because I have a smaller of the exact same pattern. This came from a fiber share partner of mine. Living in this bag has been my most recent monogamous knit since I bound off for the Ramble last night. So again, guys, I have a crap ton of knitting time right now because I am not working because it's summer and I'm done with school. So I have been a lazy bum sitting on the couch all day long knitting my fingers off. So one of my FOs that is not just physically not here to show because it is at my local yarn shop on display is the Montana Mountain Cowl. So again, head over to my Instagram, you can see it there. And that I knit in a week. And that was a pretty monogamous knit. So, yeah. Anyway, this is, oh, that looks so good on camera. Okay, I'm really excited by this now. This is my golden hour. So I cast this on, I believe in November for the year of Andrea. And I worked on it one sitting's worth, and I only got through this first little section of color work or mosaic or slip. It's not color work, it's not stranded, it's all slip stitches, but I only got through this section and then I put it down. So since yesterday, the crosses down I've knit all of that since yesterday. So it is such a fun knit. So fun. And it's one of those things that at first, when I picked it back up, I was really worried about my color choices. I don't have any of the tags with me, go figure. So I can't really, I know the dyers, but I don't really know the color names. But you're gonna kind of see a trend of where my taste and color was for the last year. So my colors A and B, which are these two, are both from Farmer's Daughter. And this is her worsted base. I have no idea what these colorway names are, but again, this gold, very reminiscent of Honeymead. I love this gold color, this mustardy gold. So that was A and B. And then here's C. And this is Long Dog. I do remember this is Long Dog yarn. Something rusted maybe? Oh, excuse me, rusty something? I have no idea. But I bought all of these from Fancy Works Yarns or something like that. It's the Bend. It's a yarn shop in Bend, Oregon. When I went on there for a little weekend, when I went down there for a little weekend getaway with my fiance back in October. And these colors just really, for me, encapsulated the colors of that time of the year down there. It was a little overcast. While we were down there, we got some rain, some drizzles, but it was also fall, and there was one tree when we went to the High Desert Museum. There was a tree, or a lot of trees, where the leaves were turning this really golden yellow color, and it was just beautiful. So these all really just kind of reminded me of that time. So that's that. I'm sorry, my dad is sending me. So every month Desert Vista Dye Works has a contest to inspire new colorways for her. And this month theme is music, favorite music. And my dad we're going on a total sidebar here. A huge music nerd. I mean, we probably have the equivalent of a well-stocked variety record store in their basement at home. And so I grew up listening to all sorts of types of music. And so I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna ask my dad, what are some of his favorite albums, super colorful, that kind of thing. So he is actively sending me his favorite. Oh, I do like that. So he's sending me his album art, and this is, I'm going to have to go back and edit my post because I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I'll turn down the brightness. But yeah, the Cream album, that's super neon and bright and reds and oranges, and yes, I will have to go back and add that one. I really like that. So, anyway, coming back to Earth, my golden hour. So my goal for this, because I'm working well on these little short-term goals. Oh, see, there is enough contrast in those colors, especially in the gold and the light gray. I really love that. So I did one bobble section, I have a cross section, another bobble section, and then a big kind of eyelet section in the gold color, and then a border section. So I'm hoping only a couple more nights working on this monogamously, because it is worsted weight and I'm knitting it on a size 8, which I believe is the needle recommendation for the pattern. Has another Sweet Cherry Shop Progress Keeper, just a little chocolate chip cookie. Super cute. Love her Progress Keepers. They are insanely realistic. I want to just like munch into this. But yeah, so I'm hoping a couple more nights working on this and I can be done with my golden hour. And that'll be another finished object. Another thing off of my Year of Andrea that's been on the needles for way too long. Okay, living in this big old bag. This was, I think, a Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. I needed a big sweater bag, and this one has been perfect for this project. Another Year of Andrea project. And this is my night shift. Again, another project of hers that I did not think that I was going to knit until I was inspired by the yarn. And I am knitting this out of Noro Ito in 2 colorways that I ordered from Espostrico. And now that again, everything with these lights on camera is so much better. So it's huge. It's 100% wool. It's super cozy. Yeah, so this is one of the ball bands. So Noro Ito? There we go. You see that? Ito? This is colorway 12. It's really more muted in the tones, and I don't remember what colorway this one is, but it has a lot more colors in it. So I'm just gonna kind of keep going until I run out of yarn, I think, because it doesn't, granted it is scrunched up on some needles right now, so it's hard to tell the true size of it to actually wrap it around my neck, but right now, like, the tail doesn't go very far. But I do know that with this pattern, it doesn't have crazy long tails anyway. So it is one of those that I do have 2 shawl cuffs from Knox Mountain now that will be used for this to keep it on my neck. But I am really excited by this. It's gonna be super warm and toasty, and I love the colors because they are, I mean, they can be bright, but they're not like obnoxiously bright. They're still relatively muted and kind of subtle a little bit. A little pop of orange in the tail right there. You know, so it's not overwhelming amount of color. So I do think that this is gonna be a very wearable shawl for me. So that's probably, I'll probably go from the golden hour to this because this is really close to being done. And then probably the freer fade will be the next one. And then once those are done, like I said, I'm okay with the find your fade being on the needles for a while. That's been a good work on while I'm at the yarn shop kind of project. So I'll probably keep that one on the needles for a while and just keep working on that. But once I've got those kind of toned down a little bit, then we're gonna tackle this mountain over here. And it's insane. So we're just gonna start at the top. And I don't think I can tell you what's in this bag. I don't know. But it is a Wizard of Oz bag from Mullen Design. And we're gonna find out together what's in the bag. Oh! Okay, this will be transferred to a different bag. I do remember now that this was just kind of crammed in here because that was an available bag. But here you can see yarn choices. This is Yoth yarn. And this is the little babe. Oh, that's where that progress keeper went. I was looking for that for my golden hour. This is the baby beginnings of my, oh, come on. Where are we at here? I don't want you to come off the needles, but I also kind of want to be able to hold it up a little bit. Okay, baby beginnings of my Tecumseh. Again, there's a theme. Do you see that mustardy yellow in there? And a light gray and an olive green. The olive green will come up in future projects. Exhibit A, I can do like a year and a half of Andrea. This is gonna be, glad that wasn't my wine, another Andrea Mowry project. So, I mean, I've always loved these colors, and I'm really kind of owning it now. I've kind of called the mustard and olive and that rusty burnt orange. In college, I called them the ugly colors, kind of those 70s, that colors that I'm like, not everybody, lots of people don't like those colors, and so they need somebody to like them, so I'm gonna like them, and I love them. So, I love this. Love it. So yeah, Yoth yarns. Do I have other skeins over here? I think I do. I can tell you actually I do, so that yellow color, but we're gonna have a mess to clean up, aren't we? So this is Mango. The light gray, and these are all in their big sister base, so it's an 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon. This is Oyster. Oh, Yoth is another yarn that my local yarn shop carries, so if you're into them, you can find their yarn there. They carry a couple different bases. oyster, and then olive, go figure, is the green. And that's showing up a lot brighter than it is in real life. But I have another sweaters quantity of olive for one of Shannon Cook's, cardigans. So again, I really love these colors. They're not quite jewel, but they're not all earthy. It's just, I love them. And this is her father base. But anyway, total side note. I love these colors, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of them in the future, I feel like. Anyway, enough about that. My Tecumseh. This is, I think, only one of two, well, no, three, if you count my magpie. One of three sweaters that are on my needle. So this is one that I definitely want to be done. I do believe that I'm going to try to do the modification, stuff that back in there, that Dunder Knit, can't think of her name now, Caroline from Dunder Knit. She split for the arms much sooner, like a whole pattern repeat sooner, so they actually are more normal level rather than like splitting for the sleeves down here. So they'll be split closer up here. So I do think that I'm going to do that modification because I think I will end up wearing it a whole lot more if I do that. Anyway, so there's that. Let's do this one. I do know it's in my little Porg bag. This is just movie knitting. So this is what I take when we go to the movies. It is a long sock tube. This is from what used to be Caterpillar Green, but now Gauge Dye Works. Her Concrete Tulips colorway, 9-inch circular needle, just in the round, go, 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 go. I did a provisional cast on because I don't like having my cuffs be one with a cast on edge and one with a bind off edge because they don't match. So if I do any tubes like this, I tend to do a provisional cast on, and then that way both cuffs can have the same edge on them because I'm just particular like that. So this is just kind of going to be a continually ongoing whip because it's always ready to go for whenever we go to the movies. Okay. In a Little Fish Stitches Hygge bag. Da, da, da. I do think I know what's in here. I think this is some Christmas socks. Yep. So this is, this is a hoe, guys. I have a hoe. Let's just put that on a sock blocker, shall we? I even think that I have the other one cast on in there too. That's really exciting. These are just a pair of standard vanilla heel flap and gusset, nothing fancy Christmas socks. And this is out of Megan Little Fish Stitches, her Christmas colorway. Do I even have the tag in here? Of course I don't. I believe it's Gingerbread House. Oh, I need to fix that. Well, that makes me sad, but I know how to fix it. I have a progress keeper that has come off of its little clasp, but I can fix that. I know how to. But yeah, this is just a Christmas sock. I need to finish this. So yeah, I'm working on the leg. There we go, double points. This I feel like is about as classic of a sock as you can get. Double point needle, top down, heel flap and gusset, nothing fancy, sock. So that is just in my, that needs to go into a pile of, needs to be just picked up and worked on here and there. because that's easy enough. Because I already have one done. So I finished that second one, and there is another sock for my Christmas box of socks. So there's what's in that one. Do I know whip count? Can we have a whip count right here, please? There we go. This one, I'm not even going to show you because it's now an empty bag because it's going to get frogged. I used some of that yarn for, oh, I guess I can show you. But this is the beginnings of a succulent shawl. I could not tell you who it's by. But the yarn is Brooklyn Tweed Loft in the postcard colorway. And this is a color that I actually ended up using, stealing 2 skeins for my Montana Mountain Cowl. So, because this has been sitting as a whip for years. Years. I still lived in Wenatchee when I started this. In fact, you probably can go back to a podcast back then and see it. Obnoxious. So, that is already getting frogged. Which is great because the bag that I threw over there is my Mrs. Brown's bag. So I can finally use it again because it is now free. Let's look at this bag. This is a Molly Klein design. My little gnome bag. Love this guy. Feeling? No clue. I have no idea what's in this bag. Okay, so working on my Ramble Shawl in that brioche section made me want to immediately go back to this shawl, which has also been on the needles for pretty much 2 years, I think. It came up in my time hop that I cast this on almost exactly 2 years ago. And this is much smaller than I thought it was, but that is okay. Because this is my Sizzle Pop. Oh, why I ever put this down, actually I think I know why, is because I think this is a project I learned how to brioche on. No, my exploration station, and then I went to this one. Oh my god. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a beginner pattern, but if you've done one brioche, it's a good next step, I guess. But working on the Ramble Shawl really made me want to get back to this. Because while it is a different brioche lace pattern, now I understand it and I can read my brioche a little better now, to where I think this won't be such a slog. So yes, I'm very excited about this. This will not be getting ripped out. I am knitting this out of Madeline Tosh. Double point. The things you find. Madeline Tosh, what is that? Tosh Merino Light is her single ply in the Whiskey Barrel colorway. And then the other one, oh, I have a tag for it even. Lacey, you're so good. So this is, what is it? Zen Yarn Garden Serenity Silk Single in the Beguiled colorway. And this is actually a skein of yarn that was gifted to me when I moved away from Wenatchee. So, and this is a yarn that I bought when I was in Wenatchee still. So they pair really nicely together. They're a great brio duo. And it's definitely something that I want. I want this. So this may move over into the more active pile next, I think. Shoot, maybe I'll graduate it from the whip cart to the active pile, because A, it's one of my longest standing whips, and B, I'm in that brioche lace kind of headspace, so we'll just graduate it over there, shall we? This is another Fate's thread. This is my Boris bag. Look at the little basties. I believe this is another sock. Maybe even another 9-inch circular. Oh no. Okay, these are ridiculous. Why I'm not done with these is, I don't know. It's a good question. Because I could just turn these into shorty socks and be done with it. And I might just do that. Because that means they will be done. 2 at a time socks. I'm already past the heel, working up the leg, and they are in a pattern by Kay Litton. I think they're her morning coffee socks or something. It's a very simple pattern. Getting kind of lost in these heavily speckled yarns, but I'm pulling from the inside and the outside, so I have a little button to keep them from getting too out of control and too tangled. This is Andromeda sock yarn in the second star to the right colorway, I think. It was part of a collaboration yarn, bag, and progress keeper. So that was all inspired by Peter Pan. In fact, we'll dig down a little bit. Ooh! And it went with this bag. Clearly, they did a great job. We'll get to that one next, I think. But a pair of socks. Those would be so easy to finish. Why aren't they done? I don't know. Do they okay, socks other than my movie socks. Socks are graduating to the active whip pile. Okay. Let's do the bag that matches that, shall we? So this is Stitch Life bags. I really loved this fabric, and that's really the main reason why I ordered this kit. And the bag is a really good size too. I have a sweater crammed in here, and this is a sweater that y'all should be familiar with because I know I've shown this off many a times, and again, should be off my freaking needles because all I have left are sleeves. Here is the body, the completed body, including short row dipped hem in the back. I do not like that bind off at all. I hope that blocks out differently because right now it's curling like crazy. I've even picked up for one of the sleeves, but I do know why I've kind of stopped is because my stitch count number was really off, and I don't really know why. Pattern name, Lacey, Sunset Highway. Oh my god, we've been talking about whips for an hour almost. Sunset Highway by Caitlin Hunter. So she's the same person who designed the Tenya, and the same thing happened on those sleeves. I was off on the stitch count, but I was off in a way to where the stitch count matched for the size above what I was actually knitting. I don't know why, but that I think happened on this too. But I didn't catch it right away. And so I got frustrated when I got to a certain point and realized, wait, why do I have the next size up stitch count? So now I kind of know how to remedy that, and we will finish this because it is so close to being done. It just, oh, it's frustrating how close this is and the fact that it's not done. Like really, the bulk of the work is done on this sweater. So that is not quite ready to move over there yet, so it will go back on the cart. Okay, moving on. How many are we at now? I don't know. This is living in my scrappy thread bag with my fun buttons on there. Dog star, hello. Okay. Oh, this. Okay, so this is a very full bag of yarn for what this project actually is. Gosh, and this is so close to being done too. This is a stocking, a colorwork stocking that I did all of this super quick. Now I'm to the point where I just need to, I think, place the heel and then work down the short little foot and toe, and then I'm done. And then I get to do one for me. So this is stocking for my fiance. And I don't know why, but I decided no names. So it just has all the color work down. Oh, that turned out so good. I'm really proud of myself on this. These need to get done. These need to get done before Christmas, really. So, not a priority yet, but they will. So the rest of this bag is filled with just the yarn to do my stocking out of. So his is almost done, and then I will do mine. So that is gonna go back on the cart because we're not ready for that yet. And that's the top shelf of the cart. Plus one. My Sunset Highway was in the next shelf down. Okay, next up. I feel shamed. This is not by this, but by the whole thing. All the whips that I have. It's been a rough last 2 years, guys. Give me a break. This is my project bag from Joanna, Stitching the High Notes. It's my Harry Potter bag. I kind of forgot that I had this bag, and now I want to finish what's in here so I can have this bag back. And I do want to finish what's in here because I keep staring at the one that's a finished object and it's such a baby right now. Oh, this is insane. Guys, this is stupid. Again, I don't think I showed you this. No, because I bought this after I kind of went on my break. So this is the Joker and the Thief. I believe that's a Melanie Berg pattern. And I'm knitting this all out of Thriving Hive Studio. And so, oh, I'm sorry, that was probably really loud and obnoxious. Let's put that back. Oh goodness, where it belongs. So my main color is inspired by one of the owners of the yarn shop. And again, no tags. And then I have all minis. And do I have tags for any of them? No, but they're all minis from their Thriving Hive Studio. So there they all are. So far, all of the colors have been used now. And I think that's part of the reason why I stopped, because I was like, oh, hey, like, I was like that much on the chairs. I've used all the colors, now I've seen it. Okay, I can take a break. So I was a little worried at first that, especially with this section right here, it's hard to see that little contrasting color. But from this point, now it gets kind of flipped to where the speckled is the little skinny, this guy, that stitch, between the larger sections of the minis. So I think that will help a lot. But hello, like, there's gonna be 1,000,010 ends to weave in, but I see the finished object at my yarn shop and I love it, and I want it in my colors, which are the jewel tones. And hey, look guys, a mustard. I can't help myself. I really can't help myself. So that's in that one. That is not ready to be an active whip yet, but it's gonna go a little higher on the priority, I think, because it's a fun one. Let's go into this bag. Another Little Fish Stitches bag, my macaroon bag. No clue. No clue. I don't know what's in it. Okay, so what's funny is I've seen, let's have a little chit chat, shall we? I've seen other podcasters kind of do this thing to where they go and they go through all their whips and they pick up a bag and they're like, I have no idea what's in this. And I think, how do you not know what's in your project bags? How do you not know that? I get it now. I get it. I have no idea. Oh my gosh. Okay. This, I have to decide, and I haven't decided if it's something that I'm going to continue in this pattern or if I'm going to rip them out and try again and do them just vanilla. These are Advent socks from the Cozy Knitter. And I'm doing them in, is it the Warm and Cozy pattern, I think, from Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expert. And I can't decide. I don't know. I figured it out a little bit. So you can see at the beginning, I was really still kind of figuring out the stitch pattern. And I really got it figured out by this point. It doesn't look so weird now. But I don't know. Maybe this will just be something that I pick up in December and kind of restart it as an Advent then. Because so far, I have not purchased an Advent calendar because I'm trying to be good with my budget. And it's just not in the budget this year, I don't think. So these might become the new Advent. So, I mean, they're caked up, they're ready to go. I'm not that far into them. So these, that was a row counter clicker thing. These may just kind of continue to live in here. And I'm doing Knit Pick Stroll and the Dove Heather as the contrasting colors. So we'll see what I do with these. I don't really know. Clearly that yarn is going to be socks. There's also enough yarn in there. I could just break the yarn where I'm at and completely start over and not have to worry about re-knitting what I have. So I have a lot of options for these. So these are gonna go back on the cart. Oh, that tipped my wine glass. Okay. Let's see. Little fish stitches. I have a notions pouch in there. I see sparkly red yarn coming out the top. Sparkly red yarn. These are more Christmas socks. Yes, they are. And hey, look, random 9-inch circular needle. Nice. Look, a notions pouch with just a measuring tape. Hey, look, another hoe. These are gonna move over there. So this pair of socks have an absurdly long leg. I remember this now. I do not remember why. I think I just got a little happy. But none of my socks go this high up on my sock blocker. None of them. So this is just a random red sparkly mini and Legacy Fiber Arts in 7 food groups, I think. It's an elf colorway. And oh, is that why I have that in there? Okay, it is. I just have the one sock. So I need to keep these needles in here because that's what I was knitting these on. So these just need another sock. And so I have, thank God, these count every 10 rows. I have things marked for when I started my heel flap. I have my fun. Look at this guy. I mean, look at my little shiny bow. So, this needs its mate. I wonder if the grocery girls are going to do their second sock of summer, Cowl, because Lord knows I've got plenty of socks to do that with. So there we go. There is And that was another heel fluff and gusset. Into active whip land. This one makes noise. What's in here? More socks? Probably. Yes! More socks. Oh. I did not do a good job at clearing this out. So this is my leftover sock yarn from May. Clearly I just kind of went in and was like, hey, I want that project bag, but I'm not going to empty it out. Needles, my favorite needles, are the Clover Chibi with the little, like, bent ends. Those are my favorite needles. These are the very baby beginnings of a pair of no-show socks. I have a toe and a couple rows. And I stopped these because I needed one of my little baby stitch marker or stitch holders to hold. Like, these are supposed to be really like, not like just little ankle socks, but like super low, no-show type of socks. And I wanted to try the pattern. You gonna blow out? Yep. But this is being knit out of more So Happy Jane, Writings on the Wall, and Junebug. Both colors were in my time trades. Goodness. So yeah, more socks. Into the active whips you go. I'm not gonna have a room by the couch for the active whips. Oh, I know what's in here. And it's another sock. This is from Lynn of Sunshine and Bubblegum. My Wizard's Wheezes. Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I always get that wrong. And these are... Do they even have... Nope, and I don't even have the needles in there anymore. Okay, I'm gonna have to hunt down the needles. I remember what needles I knit them on. I need the sock blocker. Another hoe. Imagine that. Maybe that's what I need to take with me on my trip. It's just a couple of these single socks. I'm not gonna remember the pattern name, but it is from one of Mina Phillips' sock clubs last year, I think. And it's got a Simply Serving Wizard's Wheezes box on there. But this is Lolo did it in the Yeti Goes to Hogwarts colorway. I think it's Yeti Goes to Hogwarts. Pretty sure it is. There's a little purple mini that goes with it. Just, I do remember I knit these on Knitter's Pride Zings, or Knit Pro Zings. So I need to find where those needles went and get back to that sock, I guess. But that is a 110% Harry Potter themed everything, which is really exciting. I love it. So where do socks go? Active pile. My cart's getting very empty. My active pile is massive. Okay, we're onto the bottom shelf, people. Want to take a bet on how many more pairs of socks I'm gonna find? I don't think this is it because it's very full. Another little Fish Stitches bag. I love it. Can I take a little peek in here and see? Oh, this also will need a project bag upgrade. So this was a really spur of the moment, I don't even remember the pattern name, cast on, and I don't even have the mohair. Where is my mohair that goes with this? I do not see it. But this is a Stephen West shawl. Tink. It's DK weight. It's huge. I don't remember all of these yarns. There's my Taco Progress Keeper. Hello, Taco. Let's show it off this way. Isn't it cute? I always turn them the wrong way. There's a taco. It's just a big crescent shawl with these sections, and so I've got this really super crazy bright rainbow speckled section to finish. Then this is just, is that? Yeah, that's held double. So this little red stripe is mohair held double. So then that'll be a little stripe of that. And then it's gonna go into this held double, I think, which is a Perfect Stitch Fiber Company Smog. And just this kind of mohair kid, but it's got little sequins in it. It's gonna create another big section like that. And then there's fringe. I don't know what the fringe is gonna be out of, but there's gonna be fringe, so that's really exciting. So there's that. Another DK weight shawl. This did not take me long at all to get this much done. It was just one of those impulse, I need to cast something on right now because I don't want to knit on anything else that I have, but I've got too much done on this to where, I remember why I stopped this one. It's because my dog spilt red wine on it. So I had to like wash out the bag, get the red wine out of the project itself. That was obnoxious. Of course it went into the light section. But yeah, so that will get done because that'll be just a really fun poppy shawl to wear in the colder months. But that is not ready to be worked on yet. So that's gonna go there. Oh, what are you? Oh, this is where we left off on the last podcast. So this is gonna move up, I think. This, it's my Boris. This is my favorite measuring tape in the world. It's from Lantern Moon. This is my second in the light shawl. There it is. I believe I am currently to the point where it's just my final, so I'm in the final section because it's just the last color held double. I need to finish this. I want to finish this because it's purple. Again, this is Thriving Hive Studio. I'm not going to be able to tell you lies. Earth Muffin. Iris? And then the dark, dark purple is Aubergine. No, that's not Iris. What are you? I don't remember. I do not remember one bit. But I also have a lotion bar. Sorry, that was loud. I have a lotion bar in there. But yeah, that's my In the Light. So that is, oh, go figure, I snagged that. Can I fix it? Yes, I can. Look at that. Go, baby, go. Okay. So that's going to move closer to the top of the shelf too, because that's a good one to finish. Because I know I wear my blue one all the time. I want the purple one. So that's going to go there. It's oofta. Graduating from the bottom shelf. But this is some, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Ugh. It's a lotion bar from Be Simple, which is a Oregon maker. Vanilla butter. Smells super yummy. I've been obsessed. I have a Lolo bar in, what bag? Can't remember. My sock bag, maybe. My Desert Vista Dye Works, yeah. I love them. I'm recently obsessed. Okay, let's look in my not really a project bag. This was actually a bag that came with a duvet cover set. Okay, part of my make 9 again. I'm starting to get really tired, guys. I haven't had this for a long time and I've barely drank anything. Okay, we're almost done though. We're gonna keep powering through. We're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. So this will get another bag upgrade. This is another make 9, and this is actually, that is really ridiculous lacy. Wow, I stole the needles, the needle tips. Thankfully I remember what size they were. These were on a 5. God, that's a good color. But I only found one stopper, and so I have just this, oh, thankfully it's working. But on here, this is just the little baby beginnings of my Smocket shawl from Steve & West. So, part of my make 9, and it was because I had this little baby bit started. And these were yarns that I originally intended for my textures, whatever his mystery knit along was. And I changed my mind because I hated that pattern and I wanted to do this instead. So it's gonna go from Cereal, Fool's Gold to Reiku. So there is my Smocket. And again, look at a mustardy gold. Ta-da! So again, make 9, I would like to get that done by the end of the year. So maybe that'll be the project I take with me on one of my trips this summer. Because both times I'm flying, I have some longer layovers that one direction. So I'm flying 2 different places this summer. The first time on my way back, I've got like a 4-hour layover. And then the next trip on the way there, I have like a 4-hour layover. So lots of knitting time. Okay, this is gonna get ripped out, I think. Okay, Little Fish Stitches bag. One of the To Be Frogged. Just because I just am not feeling it, primarily because the second skein of this yarn was so different. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the yarn, but it's gonna get frogged. This was going to be some sort of cowl thing. So it's got this big kind of eyelet thing. I'm so close. I'm adding in the next one, and it's really, you can kind of tell, but this is a lot darker than this. And I suppose I can start fading. Yeah, you can see that between those two. Maybe I can start fading a little bit between these two to make it work a little better. I don't know. Maybe I'll finish it. Because it's super, I can't even remember what it's called, but it is. It kind of, I want to say it's a Shannon Cook. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if you know exactly what pattern I'm doing. But it's got this little piece that then will get like seamed here, and then this just drapes down and opens up with those cool little eyelets. Now that it's on my neck, I really like it. So, I don't know. Maybe this will hang on. We'll see. But it is not the season for bulky weight cowls. And that is a Malabrigo yarn. Do I have a tag in here? I do not have a tag in here. So I have no idea color or the like. But that will go back down there. Okay. Last 2, guys. Last 2 active whips. Last 2 active whips. Oh. Little Fish Stitches. Y'all know I love her bags. God. Guess what it is? More socks. Gah. And again, I'm past the heel. This time I just need to go down the foot. So oh God, this is a mess, Lacey. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I have some major untangling to do here. Will it get done? Can it get done? Maybe, maybe? Okay. Enough to where you can see what I'm doing, I think. Maybe. We're just gonna ignore this mess. Do you see this mess? We're gonna ignore it. But these are let's get that heel going the right way. These are the Coffee Talk socks by Tracy Miller. And I have a little progress keeper from Hannah, the Corner of Craft. My little coffee cup. Look at that. They're great. This is a fun pattern. The yarn is Alexandria's Crafts, the autumn colorway, I think. It is a sparkle base, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell that. It's not super sparkly. But it's striping, like pooling in this really cool striping fashion that looks really good with the pattern on the front. 2 at a time. The heel, I did a garter heel. I just need to finish the feet on these and they're gonna be done. I have so many whips, guys. Can you see? Like, my energy has just kind of gone. I'm not gonna say I'm depressed about the amount of whips that I have, because that is not true. I'm not depressed by the amount of whips that I have. Did I show you? Yes, I did. I showed that bag. Okay. It's just that I know that the amount of whips that I have accumulated over the last 2 years is quite ridiculous. But we are now taking care of that. So, the last whip that I'm going to show you today is in my little cupcake bag. My big one's down there. Last one. Do I know what it is? Nope. No clue. But it feels too big to be socks. So there's that. I'm trying to think. What have I had on the needles that would still... Oh, guys. This is ridiculous. This is my Advent project. So you didn't see it. Oh. It may not get all 24 skeins in there because it's so big. But this is my Unicorn Parallelogram by Stephen West out of my Alice in Wonderland Advent from Little Fish Stitches and the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company. And I think I'm on day like 20. I think I did really good keeping up. So let's count really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I did not do that great of a job. 17. So I need to go through. I have a bucket of minis that I know that I have some in. So I just need to go through and add the last. What I said I was on 17. So I have, what, 8 more to add? And this pattern technically has a border on the edge. I am not crocheting a border on this thing. It is gonna be what it is. And it is just gonna be this really fun, wild, scrappy scarf. And I love it. So I did not complete either of my Advents this year. But that is okay. So there's that. I love it. Very excited. And there you have it. There is my whip of shame episode. So you guys have been able to see what I've been up to for the last however many months. I believe October was the last episode you all saw. Confession, I recorded one in November, but that was in the height of my depression. So it got deleted and never, nope. It's just not there because I was very the whole time, which was true to who I was then, but it is what it is. So with that, this is gonna be, I think, my longest episode to date, but makes sense. So now you have seen some of my finished objects, you've seen all of my whips, -1. You have not seen my temperature blanket, but I will show that next time maybe. So now we have a starting point. The next time I podcast, which hopefully with the lights now means that I can record whenever, whatever time of day. It is now 9 o'clock at night. I have not eaten dinner. It is getting dark outside, but you would never know with my beautiful lights. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say thank you for joining me, and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with when I podcast next, and hopefully it will be sooner than like 9 months. So with that, thank you for joining me, and happy knitting. Bye.